So hello, welcome back to our live stream from the Input Output booth here at Rare Evo in Las Vegas. Delighted to be joined by Charles, who has just recently done his keynote speech. Charles, how's it all going? Give us a bit of a recap.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. It's incredibly high energy. For a ghost chain, I think we're doing pretty good. We call this proof of bankless, right? But it's just incredible to see how far things have grown, all the projects that are here, all the exciting people. There's a lot of cross-blockchain collaboration. ICP has a booth here. We have Algorand people here, a lot of Polkadot people running around. So it's always fun when you get to talk to your neighbors and learn from them. The keynote was very high energy. We got a chance to go through the last 9 years of history. We announced a few things. First off, Hydra is now running Doom. Every frame is a transaction. And if we get many concurrent users, we can get to a huge TPS rate. So people can actually play it. There's a booth right over there, a little cabinet that has Hydra Doom on it. And we announced a $100,000 death match that we're going to try to figure out how to get done at the Cardano Summit. I think that was a news to everybody because I just decided today to do that. So we didn't have a chance to run that through marketing. Sorry, legal. And then the other is the paper wallet generator for Lace is finally live. And what we decided to do is partner with Moneta, and we put $1 million worth of USDM into a paper wallet. And if you can hack it, you can keep it. It's a bug bounty. So we're giving away paper wallets to everybody we can find, and there you go. So we now have the industry's most secure paper wallet. So that's a lot of fun. But then we had a chance to talk about governance. We had a chance to talk about Voltaire. As you know, Chang is almost live. We're nearly at the finish line there. And it's a lot of fun and very exciting to see how the ecosystem's gone from just ideas and to actual execution and get these things out there. And we're just getting geared up and ready to go for the Constitutional Convention. We're geared up and ready to go for Token 2049, ready to go for the Cardano Foundation Summit in Dubai. It's never been a better time to be in the ecosystem. And this keynote was really a celebration of that.
So we've got a beautiful animation here from our friends at eutxo.org, which is showing the kind of the current state on chain.
It's live.
Yep, that's exactly what is happening out there on the blockchain. But of course, what's happening in here is we've got a huge number of people here and a lot of different Cardano-based projects. And I think we're just going to get a few people up and have a chat with them.
Yeah.
Should we start with Hydra?
Yes, sir. Pi,
Yeah.
come on over.
Yeah. And Trim. We've got Pi and Trim here.
Pi, the man with the coolest name in all of crypto. Trim, good to see you too.
Nice. Hi. Thanks for having me on.
We're glad to have you here. So, what is Hydra with Doom? What is that? How does Doom run on Hydra?
Sure.
Kind of take us through the beginning, the conception, how you guys actually built it.
Sure. So this is the brainchild of Trim here. And there's kind of a common inside joke in the tech industry. You know, they say, oh, will it run Doom? And people have gotten Doom to run on all kinds of crazy things, including like discarded COVID tests and things. So, and so Trim had the idea of like, well, why don't we see if we can run Doom on Hydra? And so reached out to Sunday Labs. We do contracting work, so we've been working on the back end for this and brought in Adam Dean and a bunch of other people from IOG and kind of a really cross-functional team to build out this tech demo. Is it, what we're recommending for a 30-year-old game to run? No, it's just a bit of fun, but it really showcases Hydra's strengths in a really powerful way. So what it is you load up the game, and every frame it submits a transaction with the player state. And we have an Aiken contract that's validating, just for the demo, we're validating that the player position doesn't change by, more than the maximum speed. And so every frame, that's 35 times a second, we're submitting a transaction to a Hydra head, and then we load balance different games. So I think there's like 20, 25 people playing right now, can get assigned to a different head. And so it really demonstrates both the vertical scalability, where one Hydra head can run, with smart contracts and stuff, we're seeing like 200, 250 transactions per second. But we can also scale those heads up. We're running 65 Hydra heads right now. We can scale that up for more players. So like I think a theoretical maximum throughput of 11,000 frames or transactions per second for this demo. Do you have anything to add?
Well, what are some of the strengths of Hydra? You mentioned strengths of Hydra. So what's Hydra really good at, and what's Hydra not so good at the moment?
Yeah, so Hydra's good at a lot of things. For this demo in particular, we really wanted to highlight three things. One, that vertical scalability, right? So going from on the Cardano layer 1, where you have that global, persistent, really reliable consensus, and you can get a couple, 4 transactions per second Hydra gives you that 200 transactions per second. So that really ability to scale vertically. And then, like I mentioned, the horizontal scalability. So however many users you have for your application, you can just keep spinning up Hydra heads, and each one adds additional capacity for kind of your use case. And then the final one was the fancy math word for it is the isomorphism. But what that really means is that the Hydra is reusing all of the transaction formats, all of the ledger model, all of the really kind of research-driven security behind the Cardano Layer 1, so that when I go to build an Aiken contract that validates something on the Hydra head, it's the same Aiken contract I would have written for the Layer 1, right? Or a couple years ago, we demoed Sunday Swap running on Hydra, and we didn't have to change any of our contracts. We could just run them on the Hydra head. So that ability to switch over really easily, reuse all the wallets, reuse all the transaction parsing libraries, reuse all of this infrastructure that we've built as an ecosystem, it just switches over to Hydra very, very easily. So those are the real three strengths that we think this demo shows off. Hydra has a lot of other benefits as well, but that's what we're emphasizing today.
So I'll bring Trim into this. So Trim, what went wrong when you guys were trying to put Doom on Hydra? Like, obviously you're going to break stuff from that process.
Yeah, we had to break so much stuff, and I'm
A little closer. A little closer to your
A
face.
little closer, okay. Yeah, actually so much stuff broke, and I'm really happy that it did, because it offered us an opportunity to fix the stuff that we broke. So for example, we actually added some functionality to the Hydra node. We, Pi and the team, they managed to optimize the transaction building and submission to go to under 1 millisecond, because we had to for performance. So the game is running, each individual session is 35 frames per second. Each frame is an individual transaction using running smart contracts. And not only are we able to support that with one player per head, but we're able to support multiple players in a single head. And what is it, 10 heads per server?
So right now we have it running 5 players per head,
Yep.
10 heads per server, but that's really just a function of how big you make the servers.
Exactly.
And then we have servers in 7 different regions across the globe.
Yeah, so most of the performance challenges that we're experiencing is actually network, so the physical distance between you and the server. But what you can do with this as well is, it's a little bit hard because you need to know NICs at the moment. We're going to sort that out, so it's easier to deploy, but you can deploy this locally. You can run this on your own machine, and you'll have an amazing performance. You can have multiple people connect to that node and play concurrently.
So what's next on the Hydra Doom roadmap? Are we going to have a roadmap?
I certainly hope so. So yeah, we're expanding the vision to go to the summit as well. I wasn't really sure if it was going to, but it is. That's
Oh, it's gone.
oh yeah.
Tam, I announced we're giving a $100,000 bounty too.
Surprise.
I didn't tell legal yet, so. So let's brainstorm that a little bit. If we were to give away $100,000, how would we do a bounty? How would we do a death match? What would that be?
So for this demo, one of the interesting things is it's currently running in offline mode, which is just a way to run just the Hydra head without a Cardano node. We're not really emphasizing the connection to the layer 1 because we're just showing off that scalability. But for something like the Summit, we can spin up Hydra nodes and actually put the prize money in the Hydra head and have the settlement of the prize money going back to the layer 1.
I could have a smart contract on Cardano mainnet loaded with $100,000 worth of
yeah.
USDM.
Oh, yeah.
And the winner
And the winner of the game
Yeah.
gets it, and it's all smart contract.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, once you close
Wow.
the head,
so
it
that's
gets
what we
found
can
out.
target, yeah.
Wow, well, let's fucking do it.
I've got a lot of sleepless nights out of me, but
All right, let's see. Yeah, all right, done.
So in addition to that, though, I do want to call out that there are a couple of backlog items that we weren't able to get to. Some of them can be really, really fun, and I'm going to elaborate a lot more on that tomorrow on stage. But I do encourage people to join the Discord channel. We have a little channel in the IOG server set up specifically for the Hydra Doom project. We have a bunch of things that we can do that we wanted to do but just didn't have time to. And we encourage people to pitch in. It's it's all open source. It's all
Yeah, and it was really cross-functional across, IOG, the company that made the cabinets, Pop something.
Yeah, Pop Virtual Entertainment.
Yeah, Sunday Lab. So it was really this kind of cross-functional team. Encourage anybody to
And
get involved.
we got Adam Demon to make the proof of presence
Onboarding, yeah.
for this
And,
one.
and just one final point, because I know you guys got to go in just a moment, but the magic of this really is that we are testing in the harshest possible environment with the hardest possible type of application. People say, well, why do you care about a game that came out in 1993 running on Cardano? It's like, guys, this has to work. You know instantly when it doesn't work. And if you put money on the ground, people are trying to break it and cheat it, especially if it's on the blockchain. Well, by solving Doom on Hydra, what you're doing is you're opening Hydra up for hundreds of new use cases, and you're building an ecosystem community around that. You're getting the dApp developers to realize that this does work on mainnet. It's here. It's real. And you're really getting it to a point where it can replicate a good, fun, real-world use case and experience.
Yeah.
So my hope is that this is picked up by the community. People take it, they build SDKs on top of it, games start getting ported, more modern things. But beyond that, DEXs, voting systems, basically anything to your heart's content, and it's one of 4 of the scalability pillars that we're pursuing with Basho. So thank you guys for your hard work.
Can I do a Sunday Labs shout out?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So we do a lot of
How's
contracting.
Gummy Worm coming along?
It's coming. It's coming. That's very long-term roadmap, but we do a lot of contracting work. So we worked with IOG on this. So if you want to deliver something on Hydra, reach out to us. We're happy to help make your vision and your project a reality.
Thank you very much,
Bye.
both of you.
Thank you.
Trim, thanks for all the hard work. Thanks for the idea.
And a special shout out also again to Adam Dean, who's obviously played a great part in this as well, and also Sebastian from the Hydra team as well, who's really been behind the
Big
scenes driving this.
Peyton, good to see you, man.
Peyton,
on up.
welcome.
Good to see both of you guys. I just wanted to say I'm going to claim that 100K in USDM in Dubai this year.
It's going to get competitive, huh?
Yeah, it is. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got me excited.
We solved the attendance problem for the summit.
They're coming.
So what you been working on these days?
So last year, I sat down next to both of you guys and I said, we're going to build 2 smart contracts over the next year. We're going to build staking baskets that allows you to delegate to over 100 different stake pools at the same time and earn additional Cardano native tokens for supporting decentralization and all those small businesses, and a smart contract that allows you to mint profile NFTs, which you can level them up from using Cardano, Twitter, and Discord, and following your favorite projects, engaging with the community. And when I was mentioning all of this, it seems so far in the future. But now, all of it's live on testnet.
It's live on testnet.
Yep.
You writing Aiken?
Yep. So the profile NFT smart contract's in Icon, and then the staking basket smart contract is in Plutarch.
Ooh, that's exciting. So what were some of the challenges you encountered in building it?
With Icon, it was quite easy to integrate it. I would say it took us about 3 days to integrate it, whereas once we actually had the smart contract with Plutarch, it took us a few months, quite honestly. And I think the biggest challenge was learning UTXO and understanding, you have to grab the reference, from the smart contract when you're building the transaction. And, it took us a couple of months or a few months, but once we had that down, I felt like we had a much better understanding of UTXO as a team, and definitely have a lot more momentum from that early experience.
Well, that's exciting. So where'd you get your developers from? So I always ask every project, did you write the code yourself? Did you recruit people? How did that work?
So it's a mix of both. I would say more than half of my developers are from my YouTube channel. I've made YouTube videos for years, and developers will reach out to me and say they're fans, and I'll say, well, what languages do you write in? Maybe you can join the team. And I would say we've got about 60% from there. We've also worked with M Labs in the past for staking baskets, and we worked with somebody named Walge online, who's very great with Icon, and we still work with them to this day. So. Everything like the front end, the design is all in-house, but for the smart contracts, we've worked with other teams as well.
And how do you think about product development? I always ask anybody who's a CEO or founder who's involved heavily in Web3 stuff, how do you get a product backlog? How do you get that right product market fit? So why this over something else? What was something that really got you excited about it?
I've wanted to see multi-delegation for years, so with staking baskets, I'll start with that one. And you also talked about this idea years ago of stake pool operators kind of coming together and working together. A good marketer is going to be on this side. A good, sysadmin and, a good business guy. They all can come together, use a staking basket, start one, and then on-chain, all of the revenue can be split evenly, or the stake can be split evenly among their pools based on the value that they provide. That definitely got me really excited. just to kind of announce a new feature, there's a parameter on Cardano called A0. And A0, if you stake 72 million ADA to a pool, you can earn 30% more staking rewards than a normal delegate to a pool. So using the Staking Basket smart contract, we have found a way to bring that 30% up to 30% to users of Staking Basket smart contracts. So we've actually built Pledge into the Staking Basket smart contract to where, let's say there's already 32 million ADA in there, you're going to be earning 15% more ADA than everyone else, and you only have to have 10 ADA to deposit.
That's pretty crazy, isn't it, Tim?
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, originally the staking basket thing was also about getting stake more widely delegated
Yes.
as well, and that's obviously a very powerful feature too.
It is, yes. That was our first feature. So we're launching Diffusion. That's going to be the first staking basket. This is something new that's probably more like 6 months out. So the first basket's called Diffusion, and this is run by the Atrium DAO. It's going to be governed by ADA holders and then Atrium DAO token holders once that launches. But the first 50 pools are going to be put in there from all ADA holders voting on our site. And then that's going to delegate to 50 different single stake pool operators. It's going to be broken up into 3 tiers. There's going to be smaller operators, say in the 300,000 to 1.5 million range, and then a tier above that, and then a tier to kind of average out the rewards, but also support decentralization at the same time. So to kind of what led me to the Profile NFT smart contract. So I've always been really excited about decentralized identity, right? Well, I thought, I don't have the ability to, work with nation states or work with governments to bring DIDs to everyday people. But
Yeah, don't do that. It's a losing proposition.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't do it, I'm not pulling it off, right? So, I thought, well, what do we need now, right? I could essentially build a smart contract that mints decentralized identities for people, but they're not DIDs, they're profile NFTs. So essentially, it's a Web3 profile that you can level up and customize from using Twitter and Discord, and eventually it's going to be a profile page that lives in Atrium that other people can follow. You can aggregate your Medium, your Twitter. If you're a stake pool operator, you could have your users stake to you or see pool notifications, directly in there. So, we also launched the education dashboard too. 24 educational videos, all motion graphic with text guides that guide you through your Cardano experience. So as you're using Atrium, you're seeing these videos and what is staking, what is an NFT, what is a DEX or a DEX aggregator. All of this lives directly in that platform. And both smart contracts, the education portal and dashboard, all live right now.
Pei, always good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Do you want a quick shout out? Where can people find out more?
Atrium.io on Twitter, Atrium_lab. My personal account is BigPayYT on Twitter, and it's always a pleasure. I really appreciate you guys
Fantastic.
inviting
Thank
me.
you, Pei.
And this is a live view of the Cardano network behind us, and this is just so magical. I love it, EUTXO, but just this fact that while we're having a conversation, people are actually using Cardano, doing things. And you're one of the builders, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
And,
Wouldn't be here
thanks,
without
Pei.
you.
Yep, we'll see you around, okay?
around.
Cheers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Pei from Atrium. I think we have the CEO of Nevola joining us next. I know that because he's got it on his T-shirt.
Hey,
Nevola,
hey, good to see
relatively
you, man.
new ecosystem project. Welcome.
How's it going, everyone?
So first, what do you think of Rare Evo? Pretty good event, huh?
Honestly, Rare Evo is a first crypto event for me ever, and first time I was actually presenting a company for it. So I'm very excited to be here. A lot of familiar faces, and it's exciting to meet everyone, especially you, Charles. I've been following you for years now, so it's an inspiration to be here today.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. So what's been your favorite part so far?
Honestly, just seeing the community interaction with us. We came on Cardano 4.5 months ago. I've been part of the Cardano community since 2018. But finally being able to build something and present value to people and seeing their embrace and meeting and talking to us, and just the support has been immense. It's been inspiring for sure.
Okay, so take us through what you're building.
Yeah, so my company, Nuvola Digital, we are a DePIN aggregator. For those that don't know what DePIN is, it's decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Best way to explain it is you already know what centralized physical infrastructure networks are, which are Amazon, Google, the big Microsofts, where essentially they own and operate all the infrastructure, all the profits and revenues are generated, they're kept in-house. Decentralized physical infrastructure networks such as Iagon, World Mobile, Minutes Network, and others, They allow end users to plug into the network and contribute storage, computing resources, telecommunications, decentralized gaming. Now, as decentralized as these models are, they are very exclusive to who they revenue share their profits with, and that's with the node operators only. I came across this problem. I'm not the most technical individual. I'm very business savvy, but when it comes to technology, I couldn't operate my own nodes. So my co-founder and I got together, and he was going to help me initially start and run my own nodes to contribute to the IGON network. That's when my light bulb moment went off, and I said, well, if I have this problem, I'm sure there's plenty of other people that are having the same problem. How do I solve for a larger population and essentially include them into a large amount of capital that's being shared with a small amount of operators? That's where Nuvola Digital essentially came from. So we run and operate nodes on a global scale for IGON, World Mobile, Cornucopias, Minutes Network, Cerberus, Workfax, and we essentially revenue share the model back to our NVL token holders via our staking platform. So we are revenue sharing a revenue share model that's essentially intended for a smaller group of individuals running nodes.
That's a pretty cool thing. And I always ask every builder, why Cardano? How did you come to find the network? What made Cardano special?
First and foremost, security. I think it's second to none. It's our biggest priority, especially since we're handling a large amount of capital for our holders and even our operations. And Cardano, I have to say, feels the safest, the cleanest of any of them. I don't want to badmouth anything, but I came from Ethereum.
That's my job.
I came from Ethereum, and when I transferred over into Cardano in 2018, honestly, I never left. And obviously, I respected your vision and everything you stand for. And I see eye to eye on a lot of your morals and values. So Cardano just makes the most sense for everything that we've done so far.
Yeah, okay, and so the second question I ask is, have you joined Intersect yet? And the correct answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but we always try to bring all the builders together, especially people doing like what you're doing, because it's creative, it's new, it's interesting, and we're in an inflection point in Cardano where the D-reps, the builders, the projects are starting to get a very significant handle on the roadmap and where should we go, what should we finance, how should we build, and so I always ask every founder, levity aside, are you planning to become a D-rep? Are you planning to get involved in governance or the product roadmap? And if so, where, and what's your passion with it?
Absolutely want to get as involved as possible with everything. We are currently incorporating some governance into our own holder base as far as the direction of the project, new partnerships that we can invest in and go into. So we want to get as involved as possible with the Cardano community. Yes to Intersect, yes to all of it.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot.
When it comes to the technical aspects of the developments,
right,
I'm not the guy, but I absolutely want as much involvement with Nuvola and Cardano as possible. I think DePIN is a new sector that's evolving and is growing at such a rapid rate because of the sharing economy. And I think that what IGON's doing, World Mobile, and all these other companies essentially are incorporating such a large portion of the population that up to this point has been left out of all these profits and all this capital that's just generating and changing hands within the same small group of people. And it's breaking down so many barriers. And I think DePIN is making that official connection from Web3 to Web2, because we're utilizing crypto technology and all its advancements and innovation and bringing it forth in a form of, here's a service you actually need. Data storage and computing services aren't going anywhere. Anyone needs more and more of it. Right. Telecommunications, phone calls are made on a daily basis in the millions to billions in volume. Minutes transacted are in the billions to trillions a year. Internet's not going anywhere but growing exponentially. So DePIN allows anyone to step into these markets and contribute and earn accordingly. So I think it's going to grow exponentially over the next decade.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and you've got some good partnerships already there on your sleeve there too. Look, thanks very much for joining us. Where can people find out more?
Yeah, so our Twitter is Nuvola Digital. We have Discord, and just jump on in there, guys. We have a booth here at Rare. Come over and ask any questions, but we're just excited to be here.
Thanks for coming, man. Cheers.
Okay, I think we've got the Handle guys up next. Hey, welcome.
Hey, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
So Ada Handle, you're truly some of the OGs in the ecosystem now, aren't you? Tell us a little bit about your backstory for anybody who doesn't know you.
Backstory of Ada Handle or backstory of like...
Story of both of you and Ada Handle.
Both?
Tell us.
So for Ada Handle specifically, it is an NFT-powered naming convention on Cardano. So basically, it takes the cryptographic hash that nobody likes dealing with, that's mandatory for transactions, and it simplifies it into human readable form. So instead of sending it to some random 32 character hash, I'll send it to Charles, or I'll send it to Tim. And sort of that, like,
Got to name the cat on the shirt.
or the cat on the shirt.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's basically like at the time, we had all this raw data on the blockchain itself. Back 2020, 2021, and we were like, how do we take this and build a simple product out of it? And that's kind of where the birthplace of AdaHandle came from.
It's funny because I wrote in the original Why Cardano in 2016 that one of our goals was human readable addresses. And we were going to get around to it. We never did. You guys did. I was like, damn it. All right, well, it works. Okay, we'll take it. You're OGs.
Well, we won't say that we stole it right from the documentation.
Well, no, I stole it from vanity addresses. Because remember, way back in the day, you'd mine a Bitcoin address and you'd be able to create, like a 4 or 5 digit character.
Maybe I'm not that much of an OG.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, so if you brute force and randomly generate addresses, eventually you can generate addresses where certain set of characters will be in the first part of it. So you could mine an address like dog and then the rest of the address or something like that. But you have to mine it to get it. And the more characters you have, the more complex the mining process is. And then eventually it gets intractably hard. So I know one guy who mined cock as his address, and he got a lot of Bitcoin actually because people sent it to him. But that was how we in the olden days did vanity addresses. And obviously there's ENS and all these other things, and we're really glad to see AdaHandle, and it's been incredible to see the growth. How many active users are now in the namespace?
Yeah, so we're nearly 70,000 unique wallets that hold one handle. We are coming up on a pretty big milestone for us, 250,000 handles minted. And yeah, it's been an incredible journey so far, and we've been so lucky to work closely with the Lace team and other product lines from IOHK. So it's really felt like working with family. So
and if I'm a dApp developer and I want to, or a wallet developer, and integrate AdaHandle into my application, how do I do that? What's the best approach?
What a great question for Conrad to answer.
We developed our full API, which allows you to resolve handles, see what handles are currently active, which are not minted. It's pretty straightforward. Right now, we're enabling it for free. It doesn't handle much. It's around every 5 seconds per request. But it's pretty straightforward. We can look up our docs. I can share all the information, but our API takes care of everything for integration.
And what's the next generation? Are you guys thinking about integration like a non-creds or DIDs, or what's your roadmap the next 12, 24 months?
Yeah, so like the handles themselves have given us a foundation to build so many different avenues in terms of identity. So much so that we had reached out to so many different people. The Atala team for one, where we found Daryl O'Donnell, and we have brought him on as an advisor. He would advise the Atala Prism team at one point. Because at some point, we want to figure out how do we take an NFT-based identity solution on Cardano and integrate that somehow with DIDs. And so that's an avenue. And there are so many other different things that we're building too that aren't necessarily identity forward. For instance, there's a really close relationship between handles and a mobile application like a Cash App. And having something that's like a phone grab away that could keep somebody and, that uses the Cardano blockchain right there. They're out at dinner and they want to split the check and they're using Cardano. They're using handles right from their phone, and so that's an avenue we want to take too. So there's a lot of different things that we want to do, and I do know that DIDs is on the roadmap and something that we're taking very seriously. So.
Okay, and my next question is I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just going to say, we also got funded from Catalyst a couple of funds ago for Handle Chat. Handle Chat will be a full-on communication systems leveraging on handles. We're also going to create what we call HandleCom nodes, which will be similar to...
So wait, hang on. If I have two ADA handles and they can talk to each other through a secure communication, are you using XMTP, or is it perfect forward secrecy, or what do you have?
I would love to answer that question, but our brains behind that is sitting at the booth right now. But what we're going to do is going to be similar to how Cardano nodes run. We're going to have HandleCom nodes. So it'll be essentially a decentralized system that it's government proof. No one will be able to take it down.
Yeah, because we are looking for these types of things about how would, if I am delegating to a stake pool or delegating to a DREP, establish a communication channel with them so I can talk to them either asynchronously or synchronously. And actually, ADA Handle would be a really interesting solution for that because you can register one with your certificate, right?
That's precisely it. We're also going to enable for messages that need to be on chain for verification systems for whatever need you
Right.
need, or you can have free tiers where it's going to be off chain, but using handle comp nodes for it. But we're extremely excited about that.
That's really cool. So I always ask, you guys can't get off the hook. Have you joined Intersect yet? And the correct answer is yes, right?
Yes.
We've joined in the sense that we've talked to Alex and the team of how to get ADA Handle integrated into the DREP system, yes.
So what I'm hearing is that you're joining Intersect and advocating that ADA handles the official identity system of Intersect, right?
That's exactly what I
I think we're
said.
going to have to march you off the booth and right over there.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's just there.
Hey, Alex, can we get him a membership form? Can we get it? Okay, yeah, we'll get you guys hooked up. Glad to have you on board. And you're going to become DREPs, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, man.
That is the plan.
Yeah, because it's so important that people building on the chain actually represent the chain. And levity aside, DREPs are the backbone of representing the interests. And you have 250,000 users you have to represent the interests of. And it's so cool to see what you guys have done. You're a foundation in making crypto usable by the masses. If it's an address, people don't get it. If it's a name, people get it. You need email for money, and this is getting us there. And I'm real excited to see how fast you've grown, and you've made us better. There's been some issues with ADA Handle from time to time on the wallet. On the Nami
is
side,
true.
we didn't write that code, but
Hey, we made sure not to throw anybody under the bus on that one.
yeah, no, right. I can though, because everybody hates me. But thank you guys for coming. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much,
It's
Charles.
a pleasure.
See you both.
All right, who's next up?
I think we've got Josh and Book and
goddamn.
Stuff.
Josh, good to see you, man. Ah, Ben, good to see you. How you guys been?
Been good. Yeah,
So
it's going great. Thank
really
you.
stuffing it in, I hear. Yeah.
We are stuffing it in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of
we're
stuff.
trying to
after it.
trying to stay away from that as a slogan. Stuff it in is not
Get
what we're
stuff.
going for.
Back to my
Own your,
college
own your
days.
stuff. The marketing guy is literally blushing. So let's stay with just own your stuff.
I'm just the innocent one here. Charles.
You know,
They're gonna quit these live streams pretty fast, man.
no, we're just gonna do it live.
I'm just
TVMA.
worried that Lily's going to turn up again. That's what I'm worried about.
no.
So.
No. Well, he created a whole company from that slogan, Cattle Daddy Media, right? So stuff. You heard it here first. Stuff.io, stuff it in. So I owe you guys a book.
You do.
Yeah.
We took some really nice photos.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
We need the inside, the content.
So since you've been to the ranch, what'd you think of the ranch? I
Oh
have to
man, it's
ask.
beautiful. I mean, it wasn't what I thought. I guess in my mind I was thinking just a boring flat ranch. It was not a boring flat ranch.
No. Take the people through. Like, what is the full ranch experience?
It's remote. I'd say that nobody's going to just happen onto you. I mean, it was beautiful. It was. It has an incredible backdrop of mountains. Like you're just right next to them. Just tons of different areas, and I'd say like amazing amount of diverse ecosystems too. And we got to take the Black Hawk,
Right.
which was fantastic, and also made me sick. It's pretty intense. And
Did we do the wind check with the Black Hawk? I think we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Yeah, you were
and,
floating in the seat.
Yeah, we were floating in the seat. Not really my thing. I think Ben was.
I wanted to go like so much faster in the Blackhawk.
Yeah, I think
but
they said
knew
we
he
went
was in
about
the back, and I-
40% of what it could do, which was very intense.
the ranch experience for me like ruined air travel. Thank you so much for allowing us on your jet and then in the Blackhawk, and then I got to jump back into coach on the way home. So now I know what the other side's like. So that ruined it. But for me, it was extremely peaceful. Also for
Very
us,
peaceful, yeah.
one of the things that I would say, and a lot of times when people ask me about that experience, was it was a chance for me to get to know you and get to spend some time with you, and also hear that you're still really, really passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And for me, it was like this moment of saying, Charles could be doing anything that he wants, and he's still here and he's still working really hard for all of us.
And that was a nice moment for all of us builders to think that, like, hey, you're still working hard at it, and there's still a lot of extreme passion about what you're building and what everybody else is building, and your help there too. So it was a great trip for us. As you know, we've had a lot of success over 2 years, and to be able to bounce things off of you and to have a moment to just really brainstorm and dream big.
Absolutely. And the reason I bring up the ranch is I'm a shameless capitalist, and I do like making the money. So I'm publishing a book on your platform, and as a content producer on a platform that distributes content, this is something that gives us so much more tools than you would with a normal publisher. So, announcing here, first time ever, Legal doesn't know about this either, because I just came up with it while we're in the interview. If you purchase the book on Book.io, there will be one person who wins the lucky grand prize to get an all expenses paid trip to the ranch.
Oh man, that's awesome.
You see?
That's incredible.
So that's an example of just something I can come up with on the fly, and JJ now has to action it. Make sure to write that shit down. There we go. We got it done. We got it done. There we go.
So what if I buy that one? What if can I come back?
It's random, right? You know. So we'll just, the blockchain will pick it. We'll just pick something like a hash or something like that, and it'll generate a random number, assign a winner. But that's the point, is that as a producer of content, I now have a different kind of relationship with my customer, and it's a much more fair relationship, and I own that relationship, and they own the content. You know, it's not Jeff Bezos taking it away. So let's talk a little bit about not only where Book is at, but what's the vision? Where do you guys want to go over the next few years?
Yeah, so very much like blockchain and the original, Bitcoin storing value. What we think really is that all digital media should have that same secure storage, that same autonomy and agency over our digital assets. So not just with stored value and with money, but with all of our books, all of our music, all of our media, everything that we have and do and interact with digitally should exist on the blockchain in an immutable way, where it can't be taken away, it can't be edited or changed, and then I have control over that. So I can just like cryptocurrency, I could send you a book, I could sell a movie, I can listen to my music. Everything's rights protected. So for professional creators that depend on selling their digital media, they can't have everything publicly exposed. That's kind of what our solution, what we really developed, was the ability to take digital media, put it completely on chain, allow that transferability and that participation in the crypto economy, but freeing the content.
Yeah, I think we're looking at like a golden era, a renaissance for creators, the people who have not made enough money, right, off their art. And also for the fans. So like, as we've launched Stuff.io and then we've moved into music and into film, man, people are super, super excited. Josh was talking to one of the world's largest music labels the other day, and straight out of their mouths was, blockchain is the future for music. And it's like, that's not us implanting that in their heads. That's what they're coming to us and saying. So, this ability to have access and build alongside everybody that's here, and it's super important, right? But the future for Web3 is very, very bright. When you have people like that have 400 or 500 labels underneath them, and they're looking to monetize again, it's a super, super exciting thing. So I think what we're going to see is like a golden age for music and for film, and for all the creators who should be monetizing who aren't.
So I got to find a way to get you guys involved in the Hydra Doom project. So I was thinking, brainstorming. Another thing, I sit in this chair, I think about stuff. It's this or the bathroom. I mean, that's where all the ideas come from. But I was sitting there, I was thinking it would be super cool if we could embed inside the Doom game Easter eggs that actually unlock something on the Book platform. How do we do that?
I'd love to do that. I mean, you're smarter than we are by far, so you probably would know how. But we've experimented with a lot of Easter egg stuff. I think it's a really fun thing, like kind of almost like Willy Wonka style thing, where we've implanted stuff inside of books, so you'd have to read through it and then find something that you could then redeem. And kind of going back to what you said a second ago, it really gives the creator the ability to merchandise and market and control their content in a different way, and have a different connection to their audience that just doesn't exist in a licensed system right now. So I think that's a cool idea. That'd be fun to do.
Well, let's fucking do it. Trim, you here? Any of the Hydra Doom guys?
The roadmap just grew again.
All right. Well, anyway,
Another note for JJ.
yeah,
I guess.
JJ, make sure to get that done. All right, we got to figure it out. All right, and then I ask everybody this question. Have you joined Intersect? And the answer is yes.
Well, as you know, I ran for and lost as a
CC.
But I'm an alternate. So so if things start to
So in
fall
the
apart
case
with the
of, like-
group, then I get to step in. So
Well, that's the Constitutional Committee, but the Intersect,
oh yeah, intersect proper. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we're open to anything as long as we have like 3 minutes to stop working. Then
All
we'll,
right.
we'll
Well, the
do
booth
it.
is right over there. Alex
right.
will get you a membership. But
Right.
we look forward to seeing you guys as a D-Rep, and I love working with you. We love building with you guys, and it's one of the coolest platforms. And you really bring a lot together. You already have the cross-chain figured out. You've brought a lot of different artists together in many different areas, and the movement from book to stuff, for me, it feels like when Amazon went from books to the everything market. That's so cool, and I think it's really going to change things, and I look forward to seeing how this platform grows and rises. It's extraordinary for you guys to be here and be on the chain.
Awesome. I appreciate the time and the support, man. It's awesome. Excited to get your book and content on there too. So
Yeah, we're working real hard. One chapter left. Nice,
that's
guys.
awesome.
Cheers.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right, who's next up?
Who have we got? We have Mr. Friedman joining us.
Dan, the man so nice we named him twice.
How you doing?
You looking good, man?
Thank you. This young man is MG Pi. Or Shashir. He's one of our blockchain devs, and he's also he's huge in the Ergo ecosystem. Huge Big guy.
Massive
Guy.
Some,
in the Ergo
I assume,
ecosystem.
are smaller, but he is big.
Yeah. He's like one of the biggest ones. Absolutely.
So, Dan, I've known you forever. Since, like, what, 2016, 2015?
Early 2016.
Oh,
yeah.
my Lord. God, it's been a journey. 8 years.
That's right.
Could you ever imagine we'd be here?
Well, so I keep telling this story kind of over and over again, right? And being in the IT business as long as I have, you see a lot of visionaries, but you also see quite a lot of bullshit. In fact, exponentially more bullshit than visionaries.
Right.
In fact, like visionaries, bullshit, like that. And so my bullshit-o-meter was really, really high when I met you. And so I went through a couple of interviews. I talked to Jeremy first, and I'm just like, I don't know about these guys. Well, what do they do anyway? And you know what? Then we had that interview that the first time I spoke to you was over Skype.
That's how
And-
long ago it was. It was
Yeah.
Skype.
It was over Skype.
Yeah.
We spoke for an hour.
Yep.
And you told me, you said, hey, you know what? In a year, we're going to have like 90 people, and we were just like 5.
Yeah.
Right?
We were in that tiny office.
We're going to have like 90 people, and we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. I'm like, and but the one side of my brain was says like, no, that must be bullshit. And then the other side, like, well, wait a second. But why isn't my bullshit-o-meter tripping off? Like this guy knows. I'm gonna talk about Palm. Yeah. Well, listen. The same reason that I did not run after I had that call with you, you sold me on the vision. You sold me on this vision. What we have here today.
Right.
You sold me on that. And what you also taught me within that time is how to build something like this, which is how we've been building Palmyra.
Right.
In the same principles, and the same first principles that went into Cardano went into Palmyra, and this is why we're striving the way we are.
So, since you're an OG, we get to talk about OG stories. Remember the ADA sales application?
Oh yeah.
And remember the day that we were trying to turn it on? Did Ricky ever tell you the story, like the developer who drank way too much?
Oh yeah. The one where you had to like send somebody to his house and wake him up. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Ricky who actually went to his house.
Yeah?
They found him naked in the park.
Yeah, the French guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. He was the one from Purdue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. Is like we had no money. We couldn't pay anybody. I mean, it's like we had $200,000 run the whole company the first year. And
Yeah.
we tried to make it work, and we made it work. So reason I bring this up is that there's a lot of builders here who are the exact same situation. They have a lot of passion, they have a lot of promise and potential, they don't have a lot of resources, and it's tough. But because of that, it made us tough, and it made us strong, and it allowed us to grow and be scrappy. And when we look to other ecosystems, they have too much cash. You know, there's all these other guys that were raising tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. Like I remember, what was it, Bancor? They raised 150 million for their ICO and all this stuff. Where the hell are they now? You know, it's because too much can be just as bad as too little. And grit and resolve is what gets you through. So you started Zengate, you started the Paul Meyer platform. For those who aren't acquainted, what is it all about?
Right, so the Palmyra platform, so Zengate is the company that's building the Palmyra platform, Zengate Global. The platform itself is a tokenized commodities trading platform that basically connects producers and buyers and essentially creates, opportunities in three different fields. The first one is just access to wider markets. A lot of these producers just don't have that. We give them access to those wider markets. The second path is actually digitization, because many of these markets aren't digitized. And so the combination of the Web 2 and Web 3 aspect of the platform gives them this tooling to be able to digitize and leapfrog, and which is actually what Cardano is about leapfrogging, which is we continued into Palmyra. They can leapfrog and to basically be in the same place as developed economies are. And the third big one is access to reasonable trade financing. In the traditional world, a lot of these producers just don't have that access. They just don't, and you know firsthand with RealFi with what you're building with John. It's really difficult in developing economies to get this access. Now, with the use of the hybrid solution, the Web 2 and the Web 3 solution, what we're able to do is we're able to create what's called trade DeFi. And this trade DeFi actually allows these producers to have access to this financing.
Can I buy tea today? Like, could Tim, because he loves tea, it's his thing, wakes up every day. Could he actually go and buy some tea on the platform today?
You can log on to Palmyra.app right now, and you can get yourself some real good tea.
Can I get myself some cashew nuts as well? Did I see cashew nuts? Some cocoa, maybe?
So right now, what we have are different types of teas. We also have spices, Ceylon cinnamon. We have onboarded Greek olive oil
in the tea.
We have so all these things most of these things are edible, right? So soft commodities, right? We have onboarded Greek olive oil, so that's going to be debuting in about a month. In fact,
is it extra virgin or just regular virgin?
Well, make an extra version for you, Charles.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah. On a serious note, I've heard that virgin olive oil is kind of there's a problem with counterfeits.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. And that's where the Web3 component comes in. And that's why this is going to be so successful, because it's aching for this technology.
How do you check that your olive oil is not a virgin?
We have to take its word for it. We have oracles for that. We got an oracle for that.
So do you have the Palmyra app on your phone?
You got Palmyra app on your phone?
I mean, yeah, I can pull it up. It's just a website.
You have the website though, right?
Yeah.
All right. Can we buy some tea for Tim right now?
Well, Tim would have to go through KYC.
Well, have you gone through KYC?
So sorry to hear that, Tim. I know you, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
The platform is B2B, so basically our producers and our buyers go through a KYC process.
Okay.
Which will then also going to be coupled with a digital identity.
Okay. And
so using these digital identities, they can transact on the platform. They can sign. The producers can sign their commodities as they go through the curation process, and the buyer, of course, can participate in all these other different parts of the Palm economy.
And what are you guys using for your digital identity solution?
So we're going to be working with Prism.
Okay.
All
right.
Right up there.
Hey, perfect timing.
Yeah, that's the guy. There we go.
Perfect timing.
Prism
Yeah. So Prism. We're also going to be utilizing Ergo solutions as well.
Okay.
So yeah, just it's all about the right tool for the job.
The right tool for the right job.
Yeah.
And you guys have joined Intersect, right?
Joining.
Good. Yeah, the booth is right over there.
We're friends.
We're friends.
We're cool. We're bros.
Yeah, well, become friends with benefits. The booth is right over there.
All right.
Go ahead and join. And I would love to see you guys become a DREP. I know you already have a governance role in Ergo, and people there deeply appreciate that. Being an OG, your voice would be deeply appreciated here, and it's a good way to
Yeah.
represent the project and everything. But it's
No.
really cool to have a commodity B2B exchange that does long tail stuff like spices and tea and other such things. These are markets that are intrinsically unfair and underregulated, and they create a lot of problems for the people who produce.
Yeah.
And it's very predatory on them. So they bring it to our industry, it brings trust and transparency, but ultimately it improves the market. So it's very much like RealFi in that respect. It,
Yeah,
it helps
absolutely.
bank the unbank in a different lens.
It's very fulfilling to have this. Actually, speaking of big boys, you know that Shashir right here, he is an official member now. He's in the council of the Ergo Foundation.
Congratulations.
He just got inducted. Yeah.
How's Alex doing? I haven't seen him in years.
Oh yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's right now. He's been working on the node. Improving the node, having Ergo 6.0 solutions out there. Improving it for scalability. When we get more people, more usage on the blockchain. And I don't know if you guys know, but Ergo has a 2-minute block time, right? I mean, that's not very competitive with today's modern blockchains, but it's chosen for a reason, for good security, especially at a smaller size. So what we've been working on a lot lately is leveraging the mempool support on Ergo, right? Like, let's make that more useful instead of just having something called mempool, which no one knows what it's for. So instead, we're having all the apps across Ergo use mempool and have the mempool actually more stable for use case and chain transactions and faster speeds. So it's possible we might even get these Solana speeds without any centralization compromises.
And the thing about Ergo that I don't think people understand is it's the logical conclusion of the technological evolution of Bitcoin. And had Bitcoin started where Ergo started, there would be no Ethereum.
100%,
There would have never
yeah.
been a reason to build it, and Bitcoin would just be the entire market. So it's a spiritual successor in a certain dimension, and I've always loved Alex's vision and the hard work he does, and we always say good things about our neighbors at Ergo, because you guys were first to market with extended UTXO. You
Yep.
beat us by a little bit. That really pissed me off. And also bringing Sigma protocols into the cryptocurrency ecosystem is a major, major step forward. So kudos to great engineering and great thought. And I wish I spent more time with Alex, but it's always difficult with our schedules because we're both pretty busy.
Yeah. No, he's always doing something. Alex. I think Alex wanted to build an ecosystem just so he can have somewhere to do things that he wants to do. Because he's not even in the foundation anymore. He was in the foundation. He's like, okay, I'm going to resign. I'm just going to do Alex stuff around the Ergo ecosystem. So he's got his own thing. He's not bound by the foundation anymore. So he's even more Alex now. And that's
he's Alex
great.
squared. He's going to create Squared 4.
Yeah.
So, final question. I'm going to Japan in September.
Yep.
Are otter cafes a thing? Because despite living there, I never went to an otter cafe. Is it a thing?
Otter cafes are a thing. Okay. I know some otters in a totally innocent way. In Osaka. Okay, we played, but nothing came out of it. Just so don't.
Right.
There's also hedgehog cafes.
Hedgehog cafes.
We have hedgehog cafes.
Like the hedgehogs, you can rub their belly and they go, wah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hedgehogs, bunnies. Well, of course, cat cafes, but that doesn't count. Yeah. So you're going to be there. In fact, you know that. Can we talk about the venue?
Oh yeah.
So
that's Tokyo Tech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, in Osaka.
Osaka-jin.
Yeah. So I've been kind of giving a little bit of assistance to the team, to the IOG team in Osaka, since that's my hood. I live in Osaka, for those of you who don't know. And the venue that we're most likely going to be using is going to be the same venue where I proposed to my wife.
No.
Yeah.
Are you going to say it in Japanese now?
Which part?
Well, the story about the venue.
It's going to take too long. And you don't have subtitles.
All right. Well, we have Japanese listeners. We're live streaming.
Well, I'll do it in person for them.
And there you have it, folks. Dan Friedman pretends to speak Japanese.
I pretended for a long time. All it is just I just say, Toyota Ninja pizza sauce really fast.
Oh, that's going to be a great venue, though. I look forward to seeing you in Osaka.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great to
Absolutely.
see you. Congratulations on the promotion.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Good to see you
All
both.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
How are we, JJ, how are we doing for time? Have we got time for a couple more? Fantastic. So I see some USDA t-shirts coming on. Familiar face.
How are you doing? Good to
Hey, good to see you guys. So, what is the U.S. Department of Agriculture doing here?
Ooh, that's a very good
They're after the
question.
olive oil.
We were
The extra
staking.
virgin olive oil. They checked.
Staking.
USDA does care about steak.
Very much so.
Yeah. So, what is USDA? Obviously, it's not the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What are you guys working on?
Yeah, so just quick intro. I'm Vineet, Managing Director at Emergo. We provide the technology for ANZENS and USDA. This is Shantanu. Would you?
I'm the founder of Encryptus. We are one of the first projects actually to build fiat liquidity on ADA. We piloted the project on Yoroi, where the Yoroi users are able to now off-ramp ADA directly into fiat in about 80 countries. And this is pretty unique because we are not doing a lot of bridges and stuff. All what we are doing is off-ramping capability on ADA.
Yeah, so one of the things I hear on Twitter on a very regular basis, when USDC, when stablecoin. So apparently people in Cardano land really want a stablecoin on Cardano. It's a high demand that we have. So asset-backed stablecoins, why is it so hard to build one? What are some of the challenges that come into it?
Yeah, I would say like the biggest challenge with building any kind of asset-backed stablecoin is making sure that the actual token is linked to the underlying asset, right? And there's a lot of legal structures that take place on the back end to make sure that your token is actually a perfected interest in whatever that underlying asset is. So like creating a new token or issuing a token is relatively straightforward, relatively simple. But navigating, I would say, the complexities of like multi-jurisdictional legalities of having this issued, getting the requisite money transmitter licenses, as well as setting up a platform that is safe to a point where there is no gap between, let's say, the token value as well as the underlying asset.
Yeah, go ahead.
And you know, in addition to this, what is the unique proposition of a new stablecoin? Let's say a stablecoin is coming in. Are we solving the same problem what Tether and Circle are solving? So for us, the vision and the focus was very clear to also build fiat liquidity in the frontier markets, where the users are able to on and off ramp the stablecoin at a fair price. There is no use of a stablecoin if you go to a market in Africa, for example, and you end up paying 9% or 10% to on-ramp. So the approach was not just to have the tech and the blockchain part of it, but also to have the liquidity through local regulated and licensed partners to have the stablecoin available at a fair price to the users.
Yeah, and so how do you imagine a stablecoin ecosystem kind of growing, and what type of partners do you need, and what are you looking for integrations?
I think we need to answer more on the Cardano side, but my background is payments and remittances. Having worked in the payments and the remittance space for almost a decade, what I still realize is missing in this world is settlements. Settlement is a major challenge because even large organizations like Western Union, let me give you a quote, they are parking their liquidity for 3 to 5 working days in order to make sure that the remittance and the payments are paid out. Our focus is to empower, it's a difficult task, like it involves a lot of education that has to be imparted to these companies who have been doing financial services for past several years. Settlement is the key understanding also for businesses. Let's look at a merchant who is getting the customer's money from a Visa or a MasterCard. The time for them to be settled is anywhere between 3 to 7 working days. The risk of fraud falls back to the merchant because if something goes wrong with the transaction, the merchant is actually paying the principal amount back to Visa and MasterCard. So the use cases have to be thought through. We understood like settlement is the important area, at least in phase 1 of our launch, to empower these financial institutions.
And on the Cardano side, what are some of the unique challenges there?
Yeah, I would say like right now, one of the biggest challenges in the Cardano ecosystem is how quickly can you get in and out of a stablecoin. And there's also so we're trying to solve multiple problems with our one solution. The first one, which is how do you provide banking to people in the most effective way possible? So when an end user onboards onto the Anzens platform, they're not just getting access to a spot to be able to mint and burn stablecoins, but we actually have them set up with their own segregated trust account within a regulated financial institution in the States. So through that, they can actually send wires, they can get access to the US banking system regardless of wherever they're at in the world. The other thing is when they onboard with us, they can quickly and easily deposit multiple different currencies, multiple different cryptocurrencies, convert that to USDA, send that anywhere in the world with the minimal fees that exist within the Cardano ecosystem. And I think the biggest thing that this partnership that we have with Encryptus brings is not only can they get in and out of dollars, but they can then exit into 80 different countries as well. So my big thing, at least when it comes to building businesses or building technology, is what is the business use case first? And so for us, it's the technology comes second to the actual business use case. And our thing is, if we can actually expand our ecosystem beyond, let's just say Cardano, and we just offer this as a remittance platform. Someone can tokenize $10,000, move it over to India for less than, 2.5%, they can offload that to Indian rupees. We are now a remittance platform more so than we are just a Cardano-focused entity. And I think the big thing right now is when we're talking about USDC, USDT, I think the incorrect assumption is if they come over, their billions and billions of dollars worth of liquidity will come with it.
No, we saw that with Algorand. They minted $300 million worth of USDC, and it didn't do anything at all to the ecosystem.
Correct. And so our thing was, let's bring in actual use cases where they don't even need to know that you're running on a Cardano tech stack, but we do believe that the Cardano tech stack is the best for tokenization of real-world assets with the Cardano native assets. And here's a way to, I would say, expand the horizons into, I would say, people that aren't crypto natives by just providing them with a platform where they don't even need to care that it's running on blockchain. It solves that problem of remittance payments.
And what type of partners are you looking for? For example, we have RealFi, and John's doing microfinance in Kenya right now, and he wants to expand. We have the Lace wallet. We have these types of pieces of infrastructure. If you're a builder in the Cardano ecosystem, you think you would be benefiting from the existence of USDA or can provide something. How do they work with you guys?
Yeah, so right now we're actually going out and seeing who wants to start the early onboarding process. We're getting quite close now to being tech ready for our launch. I can't quote an exact date because my tech team will come over here and murder me, but we're getting to
obviously Tuesday.
And so our big thing right now is we're trying to reach out now to as many projects within the Cardano ecosystem. If they would like the early onboarding process, they can go through our onboarding so that by the time that we're ready to launch USDA, they can start to mint, they can start to burn. But the RealFi implementation is something that we're really interested in working with. Project Catalyst, where if they have that, I would say, drip feeding capital, as opposed to taking on ADA risk, they can hold that in regards to USDA in order to be able to pay it out. And my big thing in all of this is, again, bridging that gap between TradFi and DeFi. And I know that's a commonly used term, but at the end of the day, my end vision for all of this is, let's say you're sitting on $100,000 worth of ADA. You can move that over to the trust account that's held in your own name. You can borrow $50,000 worth of USDA on the back end of your ADA holdings. And then you have a prepaid credit or debit card within a Lace wallet or Yoroi or anybody else that wants to partner with us in this. And then they can off-ramp that anywhere in the world in which they choose to go. And that's kind of that intersection that I want to see where it's TradFi, DeFi. Right now it's kind of a pain to jump between the two. But in this case, let's say for example through Lace Wallet or through Yoroi, you have it where you have the anonymous section, then you have this Anzens backend section where you can hold your ADA completely anonymously through your private keys, so on and so forth. But if you want to just move it over to the Anzens side, you can then borrow and lend against your ADA or your other crypto positions. And it's a way for people to get more comfortable moving back and forth between the two. Because I think once we address that friction, we can then bring in a lot more, I would say, Web 2 users into Web 3 by getting rid of a lot of those hurdles.
So when do you think quarter is this going to go live? Is this something you anticipate this year or next year, or what? Kind of the horizon?
Most definitely before the end of this year, we shall be live. I definitely want to give you guys a proper update in regards to where we're currently at, but again,
you can tell us later. It's okay.
Our internal goal right now is to be fully tech ready by the end of September. Let's leave a little bit for testing, onboarding, so on and so forth. So like that's at least what we're striving for at this point in time. Like we've already going through the integrations with our custodians. Minting and burning is already ready to go. It's actually super cool technically how that works. Know if you guys are interested in hearing about that.
Take us through it.
So one of the things that we've kind of found that was incredibly unique with Cardano versus Ethereum, and even our lawyers were quite happy about this, is we're never actually in custody of the USDA asset itself. So let's say, for example, like someone wants to tokenize $10,000. They get their trust account set up, they hit the tokenize button, there's a transfer that takes place internally in the trust account from the end user's individual account to a custodian account or a for benefit of account that's held by Anzen's name. That movement actually triggers a mint directly to the end user's wallet. They can then use that wherever they want within the Cardano ecosystem. If they want to unwind that in order to be able to get cash, they're not actually sending us the USDA. We have this like multi-sig implementation through, I think it's CIP 30 that we're using for this, where you basically put forward your request to burn. We will actually countersign that and burn it directly from your end wallet. So the cool thing from a legal perspective is since we're never actually taking custody of the assets, our lawyers made a assumption that some of the MTL licenses that are required, we may be able to skirt around. Obviously, this is not our goal, so like we're going to go and get licensed up prior to us going through that. But there's a interesting way for us to be able to operate where, again, we're not holding those assets.
And that just shows you the power of extended UTXO. You can do this uniquely in Cardano, but you can't do this in an accounts-based model. And you know, we try to tell Circle that and Tether that. And maybe if they hire some developers, they can figure it out. You know? Anyway, not personal. But anyway, it's been great to have you guys here, and we look forward to working with the team closely. You know, we're already working with USDM. We have the Wyoming stablecoin project. We have JED. You know, we're very agnostic, and we're kind of an all-of-the-above strategy for building homegrown, nice stablecoins in the Cardano ecosystem, the partner chains, and then the broader family to kind of counterbalance where the industry's at right now. There's this perception of winner takes all with USDT and USDC. And I think it more like a collection of long-tail markets, especially in different domains like remittances or RealFi, or for small-cap cryptocurrencies versus large-cap cryptocurrencies, or just the liquidity pairs on exchanges, or you know, these types of things. So it's exciting to see another entrant enter the market, especially one with Emergo behind it. And you know, I wouldn't ask you guys to join Intersect because you helped found it with us. So. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of the ecosystem, and we'll see you around, okay?
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Cheers. Last one.
Okay.
All right.
Good to see you both. Well, there's definitely a palpable buzz around the booth right now. That is deeply worrying.
All right. No, here, I'll take your mic for you. You got this. You got this.
Charles, good to see you.
Hang on. I got to hand the mic. There we go. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Did pretty well in this seat with the
So
bees.
please tell us all about yourselves.
Please. Well, you know, a young man, a beekeeper in Bulgaria, had a dream. He had grown up with bees. He wanted to power an apiary. He said, how can I do that? The Cardano blockchain. So we minted NFTs, digital bees, as a VC funding round for 62 current hives on an apiary in Bulgaria. They are making honey for us as we speak, along with byproducts. And I mean, what better way to do it, right? In perpetuity, these bees make honey every single year. We just had our acacia harvest. Charles and I chatted a little bit yesterday. See bees over here with BeesHive NFT. And dreams are becoming a reality because of the Cardano blockchain. That's basically why we're here.
Well, first, we're buzzing with excitement to see you guys here. It's always
And
good.
you are looking beautiful today, Charles.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes, sir.
You've always been my honey. He's going to sting me.
You better watch out. Give me my honey.
Yeah, there we go, man. But is it really worth it? Because you only get one sting, then you die, right? So you gotta really, really hate that guy.
Yeah, make sure that's worth it, Mike.
But I love commodities. I love agriculture. As many people know, I'm a bison rancher, but we actually have had a lot of discussions about opening up different lines on the ranch, and in particular, we were really thinking about beekeeping. If anything, I'm a big fan of hydroponics and aquaponics. And I was just with Tam and a few other people in Iceland, and we went to this beautiful greenhouse that was filled with tons of tomatoes. And one of the things we noticed was there's these bees coming by, and they say, oh yeah, we have to have bees to pollinate, and actually it's part of the ecosystem. So what I don't think people understand is how critical bees are to agriculture. And let's go into that a little bit about the criticality of bees.
So bees, as you know, there's a percentage of our food that wouldn't exist if it weren't for the bees. In addition, the animals that eat the food wouldn't exist if it weren't for the food, which is powered by the bees. The bee population in areas of the world is being decimated or at least damaged. So our goal is to increase that population by building apiaries all throughout the world. So we had chatted yesterday about Wyoming and how you want to get some beekeeping going. And Alexander Manchev, our master beekeeper on the property, is willing to fly out from Bulgaria and help you guys get that set up. And ultimately, that's what we want to do. We're proving our model now. We're solidifying our business. We're going to have e-commerce and other things like beeswax lip balm and moisturizing cream and soap that's made with pollen and maybe even propolis. And then, we plan on replicating this in all areas of the world. So Tanzanian forests, there's a place that makes 200 kilograms of honey a year. And I know Dan was just up here. And they have, I think, offer some of that honey. That's something that's a possibility in the future. So.
And I hear there's a honey that actually is like a psychedelic.
There is a psychedelic honey, which I'm not sure if you know. I mean, you know a lot of things. But the way that they harvest that is they go high up in the mountains and put themselves in precarious positions in order to get this psychedelic honey. We don't serve any of that on our platform yet. That I know of or remember. But I think they harvest this with their hands, and anything you touch absorbs into your body, right? So,
right.
I mean, what's that like for them up there?
It's called Rocky Mountain High. That's what that's called.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good time.
So where did the idea come from? How did you make the connection between honey and blockchain?
I love Tim stepping in. This is spiraling out of control.
between honey and what?
Between honey and blockchain. How did that connection come about?
Alexander Manchev,
and Bulgaria, and a couple of US guys.
Our beekeeper in Bulgaria, grew up in Bulgaria around bees as a child. He was exposed to beekeeping. He was somebody who understood the blockchain. He traded in different cryptocurrencies. And so he figured it out himself. Thing is, I kind of came along with Warden Hansel of the inmates. He took the business side, I took the community side. I've been in the Cardano community for over 3 years now through multiple NFT communities. And I came in to do this side of things, to be the front-facing person talking about the project. He decided to mint these bees. He actually named them Cories on accident, and every single one of them was a Cory. Is anybody from the UK here? Anybody English out there? Anybody know what a Cory actually is? Because I don't, but I hear it's a special word. Every one of the initial.
Tell us about it.
Exactly. So we're on to something when she says that she's not going to talk about it. So he needed a little help. So we reworked the artwork and we relaunched the collection and we made an actual business model with it. But initially it was just this guy's dream and he believed in the blockchain. And honestly, from my part, I do anything I can to move the chain forward. I fell in love with Cardano in this community 3 years ago. So that's why I'm here.
So I'm going to introduce you to a very good friend of mine, Gabriel Abed. He's an ambassador of Barbados to Abu Dhabi. He also started Silvo Ventures and BIT and many things. We've known each other for a very long time. Gabe and I, we've done a lot of business together throughout the years, but one thing he's desperate to do with me, and we've been talking about it forever, is setting up actually a honey fund of all things. And he wants to put this
really
in the
sweet,
blockchain
Charles.
ecosystem. So it'd be a lot of fun to see if we can bring you guys in the conversation, because you are kind of our resident beekeepers now, right?
We are Cardano's resident beekeepers.
Absolutely.
Does that mean I'm the mascot?
What was that?
Does that mean I'm the mascot?
You are the mascot.
That's it. I like that.
Nobody applied for it, but it's yours.
Created that out of thin air.
So, Charles, can I give you a taste of the honey from the bees?
I will eat your honey later.
Okay.
You're going to go over to Intersect and sign up if you haven't already, because we need beekeepers in Intersect. It's a very important thing to us, and love to see you guys as a D-Rep. obviously you're going to come to the ranch and we'll have a heck of a lot of fun. And I think we'll do a podcast or something from the ranch, and we could talk a little bit about apiculture, and it'd be a heck of a lot of fun to also learn more about the art. But this just shows you the breadth and width of this ecosystem, where you have people in every wake of life, whether they care about tea or honey or high finance or video games like Doom. That's what makes Cardano so incredibly magical and so incredibly fun. And I'm just glad to have you guys here.
We wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Look, it's been sweet. We've got to buzz off, so off you fly. And good luck.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks for your time.
Buzz.
Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
So that's the end of the stream for now. Thanks very much for joining us. Charles, any final words?
Well, one last one. So actually, I'll invite, we'll need a little bit more seating. If we can get Mauro up here and his good friend.
Lucas.
Lucas, come on up. And Tam, come on up. Well, yeah, but I want you in this conversation. All right, can you swap with Tim?
Let's swap.
So Tam and I, we care incredibly deeply about governance, and being that you'll be the future president of Argentina. Yeah, I'm not joking. This kid's going to be, just mark my words. I wanted to have a little bit of a conversation about governance and bring Tam into this conversation as well, because it's what we've been talking about for years and years and years and years and years. So first off, what's going on in Argentina with governance, LATAM governance and intersect governance, these types of things?
Well, it was a weird journey. We met in Edinburgh, and we bring with Lucas and all our team to that workshop about the SIP, the main idea of a minimum viable constitution, because we were discussing governance, but we did not discuss the rights of the people there. And Argentina is having a huge change in the government that aims to empower again the individuals, and that's what we want in Cardano. So it shows like everything is going to one way, and I'm super glad that you chose Argentina. At the end of the day, it looks like it was the right decision.
It was not me, actually. That's why I brought Tam up.
I know.
She was the one who decided Argentina. You want to tell that story?
Yeah. Well, I was at that same workshop, and I mean, the natural, I think, inclination of you and me, just because we have a strong connection to Greece as well, and Agalos and our science team, we have a lot of people from Greece as well, bedrock of democracy. But I was at those workshops, and you guys were a very enigmatic team. You brought you brought the business side of things that I thought was really needed, but you just brought a sense of the thing that I know that is missing in everything is collaboration models, governance. I mean, the technical side of things, you guys are working it out, and it's been amazing just to see all of that develop. But where things really get interesting is the people side of things, and how people start to define rights and collaboration and leadership, and how these things all kind of come together. And you guys were really focused on that side of things. And yeah, I mean, I said to Charles, I think we should do it in Argentina, and I think those guys should lead it. And Charles listens to almost everything I say, which is a dangerous power to have. So he's like, yeah, we'll do it in Argentina. I'm like, well, do you want to talk about it a little bit more? Or maybe
I said, no, fuck it. We're doing it in Argentina.
We're doing it in Argentina. Now we're doing it in Argentina. Now we're actually building a hub there. We're building an entire innovation hub, and all of a sudden Argentinians are coming into my life too. Do you guys know Matias de Stefanos? Oh my God, that guy is so crazy. This is a guy who remembers past lives. I'm Argentinians are everywhere all of a sudden. It's just a very interesting thing. So yeah, I mean, he is going to be the future president of Argentina. I absolutely agree. Charles and I are very good at finding talent, and we know it when we see it. So I cannot wait. Another fun fact is, it is his birthday today.
And happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know if Lucas wants to add something, but the people in Argentina, the minds of them change, and they want really to make sure that their money, their rights, their voice get here over the time. We have 240% inflation rate a year. This year is supposed to be the half, 100. I think the government is trying really hard to stop inflation, but right now, not only the individuals is current adoption, it's also the government, it's also the brands, the entity. We were there. We were with Globant. We have the best university Argentina onboarded to Cardano. And we have plenty of them knocking our doors to come. Lucas was also leading all of that. I don't know if you want to add something, but the meeting with the ministers there, the mayor of the Buenos Aires city, I don't know.
Yeah, we had some amazing meetings. Most of you saw them on social media. Man, I think Charles really explains it quite well when you say like Argentina is trying to destroy many of the old stuff we don't like, many of the old structures, all this political shit, basically. And I think we as a society just got to the point that we are all sick of it. And we all want to just rebuild. Yeah. And we want to rebuild in a modern way, right? We want to rebuild with technology. In Argentina, we are really prone to changes, to obstacles, hurdles, entrepreneurship-wise. And adopting blockchain is an easy path, right? It's an easy solution. That's why everyone in the government, institutions, big companies, billion-dollar companies, they are all looking into blockchain because it's a natural way to go, right? So yeah, very exciting stuff we've been doing, and a lot plenty to come.
So the president of Argentina, what's his take on blockchain? Have you guys?
He has an interesting point, and is if I use blockchain for everything, and the next government is socialist, I could track every transaction you made and go for it and tax retroactive what you do in the past. That's why Midnight is also important.
So
and
he doesn't like CDBCs, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And he mentioned that in television, and I think it's smart. Because, governments change, and if we don't make sure that have legal security to those people.
And that's why we need privacy,
yeah.
right?
And I just came out from the biggest workshop constitution, and it was crazy. We discussed about everything. It's not going to be an easy path. But we are getting there, but it's going to be super hard. But I'm glad to see the minds behind it. It's not also Tam and Charles that are super brain and super smart. There's also Mike, there's also Adam, there's also people all around the world. I came from Argentina, literally at the end of the world. It's South America is when the South Pole is. So for me, it's super important. And thanks, Charles, for letting me. Thanks, Sam. Today is my birthday. It's a very special day. And leading all of this in Argentina for us is an honor. And thanks for trusting us.
Well, we will be back. I think I'm going in October and then back in December. And we're going to have one hell of a constitutional convention. I think 14 presidents went to UBA, and so congratulations on graduating from UBA. I think you got a destiny there. 15. And 15, yeah, you'll be number 15. And, it's just phenomenal to see a country whose time has come. There's 40 million plus Argentinians, and the country is looking for a new path forward. It has to kill inflation. It has to change its government. And instead of embracing communism and all this other stuff, which is what we've seen historically happen in many South American countries, you've elected the first Austrian economist in the world. It's never happened in the entire history. So it's the prince that was promised. It's what we actually hope for places like El Salvador. And I just really hope that Argentina can find a way to embrace what we're doing, and we're incredibly excited to be going down there and be part of it. Tam and I, we talk about governance every single day. It never stops. And one that was most refreshing to me was that every person I met with, whether it was the founders of Globant or the Minister of Education, Lucas, thank you for setting that meeting up, or the Mayor of Buenos Aires, not only were they interested in this, in many cases they had actual experience. We talked about the difference between ZK Sync, AnonCreds and DIDS and Midnight with the technical staff of the Mayor of Buenos Aires, because they already had a pilot running on ZK Sync. They were familiar with the technology, and usually when you talk with the government, you start at 0 or -5. And when we talk with the people there, they're very informed, and that's an incredibly promising signal and sign. So it's great to work with you guys, and happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Yeah. And I want to end with a preamble of our constitution.
Yes, sir.
Because in Argentina is for us, for our prosperity, and for everyone in the world who wants to build something on Argentinian soil. So for me, it's super important. It's an open country, it's for everyone, and that's the same that we are building on Cardano. Everyone is more than welcome. That's the same we want for our constitution in Cardano. And I hope to see you, everyone, in December in the UVA, building this future together.
We're going to do it together. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thanks.